welcome everybody. I'm Sarah Oswick, I'm the principal here, hopefully you know that. And we have some other very important people here standing next to me that I want you all to know. Yes, very important.
I'm Marina Birdstein, and this is Nina Federman. We are the co-presidents of the Parent-Teacher Association here. I just wanted to say hello and welcome all of you. It's awesome to have such a big crowd. The next time we'll definitely order more pizza. Miss Oswick and her team have planned an amazing night for you guys. We are having a PTA meeting tomorrow morning right after drop-off for an hour at 8:15, and everybody's welcome to join if you're able to. We also want to say thank you and welcome any participation as far as volunteering, getting into the classrooms, going on field trips, getting involved in the various events, community building events, and fundraising initiatives that we do here for the school. And Sarah's going to talk to you a little bit about some of the ways to find out how to volunteer here.
Wonderful, yeah, we just really want to invite all of your participation, however that looks and however you can be a part. Hopefully what you'll hear tonight about being an IB school is that what it really means is creating community together and across cultures and across all kinds of situations, and that's what we're here tonight doing, and that's what being IB means, so you're all already a part. Thank you so much. When we talk about participation at Whittier, you know, parents think about joining PTA, like tomorrow morning, but there are lots of other ways to be involved too, and one of the most important ones that I want to show you tonight really quickly is this new website that we have. And if you don't know about it, I really want you to be able to see it. It's called Help at School, and if you just type into your browser helpatschool.org, there's a list of schools, and Whittier is one of them. And you can click on volunteer or sign up, and you'll see that there's upcoming things to sign up for, like the Carnival Committee. There are ongoing things like helping with our yearbook, with the Hug and Go. There are classroom things that you can sign up for. So just so many different ways that you can be a part. And again, I know everybody has different situations and different schedules, and we just invite you however that looks. So welcome to everyone. There's also one other thing. While I have this great group in the room, I just want to mention that we speak so many different languages, and we often hesitate, I think, to greet one another because we're not sure what language to be using. And I just want to invite everyone to greet people in your own language. So if you speak Spanish, feel free to speak to me in Spanish. Then I know you speak Spanish, and then I know that I might not understand, or I might, but I just welcome the greeting, right? And whatever language you speak, I just invite you to do that in your own language, because I think it's more important that we connect than that we know exactly what every word means. So that's an offer that I hope everyone will take us up on. And the other piece that I just want to mention is often people are wondering, how do I help shape school, how do I help shape Whittier School and have input into the decisions that are made? And we actually have a special committee for that. It's called our School Accountability Committee. It's a state required thing. So if you want to have an impact on our budget and how it's spent, on the goals that we set, if you really want to have that voice at Whittier, some people do and some don't, but I just want to be clear that that is the venue to have a say in how the things at Whittier happen. So these evenings are meant more for us to connect and enjoy one another, but there's also places for you to have that input if that's what you're seeking. And please let me know, because I run that committee and I invite whoever is interested in being a part. All right, so we are going to get started this evening with our bingo winners. That's the really important thing, right? If you filled your bingo card, raise your hand. Did anybody here fill? Wow, that is really impressive. Congratulations, you can sing guys. And there's one other over here. Any other? You filled your bingo card too? You're welcome. And one more. And then we're just going to put the candy baskets in the back, because anybody else who wants some can be a winner too. Everybody's a winner here. And then we're going to start the evening with a presentation about a very special part of our IB program at Whittier, and it's newly formed this year. I call the ladies right here our Spanish Dream Team because you may or may not know that Whittier has always wanted a Spanish teacher, and it hasn't been supported by the district. And so for years we've asked for it. Since I started, I've asked for it. And then last year, thanks to all of your help and voices in our IB evaluation, they said we have to have a Spanish teacher, and so the district helped us get a Spanish teacher. And PTA stepped up and supported that as well, buying materials and sort of backfilling some of that support. So we are so happy and excited to have another language offered at Whittier. One of my favorite pieces is that we sing a song that's how beautiful it is to be bilingual. That's the song they start with every week. And it just makes me so happy to be part of this IB community. So I'm going to turn it over, and you guys can introduce yourselves, and we'll hear a little bit about this new program.
Great. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Tamar.
And our teammate Terry couldn't be here. We all teach English here at Whittier and also Spanish. We all have master's degrees in bilingual education. We taught in bilingual schools in Boulder Valley, which was to Whittier. So we are very excited to be here, sharing our love of language learning with all of the students in 2nd through 5th grade. So our goal is that we are providing students with an opportunity to begin learning another language, or if they already speak Spanish at home, an opportunity to begin to develop their reading and writing skills in Spanish. The curriculum that PTA so generously supported this year has a lot of interactive games and storytelling and chants and dialogues and songs. So the students are doing a lot of talking in the 30 minutes that we're in their classroom. There's also a lot of different learning styles. So there's auditory and visual, a lot of kinesthetic stuff. The classes are active and engaging. Yeah.
So we have two main objectives with our Spanish program, and one is just to promote really a global and cultural awareness about learning other languages and other cultures. And so a component is teaching about different cultural celebrations. We're going to be teaching about Day of the Dead this month. And there will be an ofrenda in the front of the school where people can put pictures of loved ones who have passed away. So that is something new this year that we're offering to all of our families. And also just to develop a knowledge base of Spanish vocabulary, so just basic communication skills so that they're able to have a basic conversation and feel really comfortable and confident with their communication skills. And so we have two different curriculums. The 2nd and 3rd graders are using the same curriculum, and these are the main themes that are covered. So we're in the middle of our unit on greetings, and they're learning the difference between tu and usted, so the formal and informal you. Then we're going to move into the alphabet and just learn some of the differences between the English and Spanish alphabet. We'll be moving into numbers and time, and then colors and clothes, and each unit has about 4 lessons. And we're planning to do a cultural lesson after every 4 lessons that are more about the academics. So, and then the other curriculum is the 4th and 5th grade curriculum, and they have a very similar outline of greetings, the alphabet, and then they do food and transportation. So they start very similarly and then kind of move a little bit different directions. But the focus, again, is just really on those basic communication skills.
So you may or may not know that research tells us it takes students 5 to 7 years of being totally immersed in a language in order to become fluent. We're providing our students with 30 minutes a week, so it's going to take a lot longer for them to become fluent in Spanish. But they're going to move through the same stages of language development that we see in all language learners. So you can think about how long you spoke to your baby before your baby spoke back to you. Many of our students are in this silent receptive period where they're listening to us and they're following directions and they're moving their bodies, but they may not be producing a lot of language. Other students have already progressed into the early production stage where they're repeating words, they're providing one-word answers to questions, and we're hoping to move them gradually so that they're putting together longer and longer sentences, more and more connected words as they become more advanced with their Spanish skills. So if you would like to support your students in Spanish at Whittier, or their learning, we put together a blog. And I'm gonna be posting to the blog every week to, well, it doesn't matter. The blog is Whittier Español. blog.com. Here it is. So you have a couple of options. You could go to the website and you can see what's new. If you do that, I recommend scrolling down. Here on the side, you can choose your student's grade level. And if you do that, it will filter the posts by the things that are relevant for your child. You're going to see things that are like community events that you might want to go to. There's going to be grammar, like I'll post about whatever we're teaching that week in their classroom. There's going to be like this week we were teaching about the verb llamarse, how to introduce yourself. There's going to be music. I've been recording myself singing with the ukuleles. You can sing, you can play games, all kinds of different things that would support, maybe give you kind of an entry place to ask your student about what they're learning in Spanish. How do I go back to the demo? There's also, if you're interested, I can show you a little bit of the workbook that the students have. Right with that question?
Any chance of ever having a parent group that learns Spanish at the school, or a conversation?
That actually exists. Year to year, it changes a little bit, but we call it our Conversations and Connections class. And typically it's met during the school day, but I know every year it's sort of reinvented. So, if we want to gauge interest tonight, we could send around, or maybe what I'll do is put on the library circulation desk a sign-up list. And before you leave tonight, you could write your name there if you want to be involved in the conversation about developing that this year. I'll go find some paper right now.
So is it kindergarten too, or just second, or what grade?
This year we're teaching 2nd through 5th grade.
Okay.
I know Ms. Lou is doing a little bit with the 1st graders,
Okay.
but that's what we have the funding to start.
Okay, great.
So the first graders are doing a weekly rotation where they get to do it with Miss Lou once a week. She's bilingual as well. And the last trimester of the year, we actually have a teacher coming back, Alicia, from maternity leave, and she's hoping that she'll be able to work into her scheduled kindergarten and first grade lessons too. So it is our goal. I said the district supported the Spanish teacher, but they gave us about this much. And what we really want is this much, so we continue to ask for more as it allows.
Do you have a question?
Get to the blog from the Whittier website?
Yes, it is linked on there's like a language page, and it's linked there. Yeah. Oh, I didn't say about that. Can you go back to the blog? If you don't want to go to the website all the time, all the way on the right. Keep going all the way to the end. And scroll all the way to the top. You can put in your email, and you can go one time, put your email address here, and then every time I post, it'll come to your inbox. So you'll be able to see if there's new content. Other questions? Gracias.
So, Marjorie. The next part of our presentation.
Hi, you guys. I'm Mari. I teach kindergarten here at Whittier. I see a lot of familiar faces and a lot of people here. Okay. I'm doing the IB part. I was IB coordinator here for 2 years. But then I went back to the classroom. I did my student teaching here in 1998. I started volunteering in 1996, did my student teaching, went away, had some babies, came back. I taught 2nd grade, literacy, kindergarten, IB coordinator, and now back in kindergarten, where I belong. And
I'm also a parent.
I'm also a parent, yes. I have 3 children. One of them is now a senior at Boulder High, one is a sophomore at Boulder High, and then one is a 5th grader, and all my babies came through Whittier from kindergarten to senior year. A little emotional. So yeah, my 5th grader, this will be the first time in 13 years I haven't had a child here at school. But obviously I am dedicated to this school. I am very passionate about IB. When I started here, we were not IB school yet. And so I was able to witness the whole movement to becoming an international baccalaureate school. And when our team went to Geneva and we were trying to work on getting our authorization, and it's been an incredible journey, and I feel really lucky to be here. So I also feel very honored that I get to give this presentation because Terry, our IB coordinator right now, can be here tonight. So I'm here for you guys.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so IB is divided into 3 different programs. IB is International Baccalaureate. It is not a program or a curriculum. It's more of a lens or a focus of how we look at the Common Core standards. We are primary years, which is the itty-bitties, like we are, and then there's also a middle years program, and then there's the diploma program, which is the high school IB program. And we're kind of the foundation of all of them. We were actually one of the first QIP programs on planet Earth, and now there's thousands of them. What else would you say about that, Nathan? International mindedness. So this is one of the examples I always use because it's pretty concrete. How we are different from other schools. Other schools, we're all Common Core state. So a public school in Colorado is going to be a Common Core school. And part of the Common Core standards for 5th grade is the American Civil War. So they learn about the causes and the dates and the people, and that's excellent. However, at an IB school, we kind of break it open and we say, yes, here's the American Civil War, but what does the concept of Civil War mean? What does it mean when a group divides? So we're going to look, also, we're going to get all this, and then we're just going to bust it way open and say, well, also, it's not just us. What does that mean? So we're going to go to talk, we'll talk about conflict. Okay, we get that conflict. Let's talk about a little bit about, this isn't just us. This happens everywhere. We'll bring in modern examples. So that's kind of one of the examples we use. When kindergarten, we're finishing up our first unit right now, how we organize ourselves, all about school. So we talk about the structure and function of school. Here's Whittier, here's what we do, da-da-da. But then we talk about all kinds of schools. And we watch videos from other schools around the planet. What does it mean? Can grown-ups go to school? Kids are like, no, and I'm like, yes. Grown-ups go to school all the time, you know, and dogs go to school, and then we break it open and say, really? So that's a 5th grade kindergarten. You can visualize all that in between.
And the only thing I would add to that was just that the title, International Mindedness, when you think like, what is the reason that we're an IB school? What's the purpose of our school? It's really about creating students who have this international perspective. And just because we live in this one small town doesn't mean we can't think about the things that are bigger than just where we are. So this goal of international mindedness, if there's nothing else you know about IB, it's that. And that's what's really unique from other schools because other schools are not as focused on that. It's not a goal. And one of the first things I learned when I went to my first IB training is the IB is the first group to say we are teaching values to students. We're teaching them international, global citizen values. And there's a lot of education programs right now that say we won't step into that realm, we won't teach values. But by saying that we value international mindedness, we are very clearly telling students this is a big deal and something that's very important at an IB school.
A very important part of being an international baccalaureate school all the way through from PYP to the diploma program is action. In the diploma program, a lot of the students travel internationally for their service action projects. And at Whittier, we kind of build a foundation for that. So at the end of every unit, every grade level has an action. It's all student initiated, so it might just be one student or it might be a group of students deciding on an action, something to teach others in the community about what they've learned or making a change in the best way they can think of. And again, we're going to do the bookends. Kindergarten, at the end of our health unit we have coming up, some of the kinders come up with, well, I'm going to teach my little brother how to wash his hand, or I'm going to teach my grandmother. She doesn't do it right. And I'm like, yes, that's your action. Okay. I'm going to teach, and we're like, yes, that is action. And it comes from them, and they get very excited about it. In their home, that one thing. And then in 5th grade, they've had this foundation, so then they're ready to go out into the community in groups for exhibition, which you'll be learning about. It's bigger. They actually go into the community of Boulder, and then they actually, a lot of us, you'll see from student council all year, you've probably heard already about the fundraising efforts for the hurricanes that are happening right now. We start that foundation in kindergarten, and it becomes automatic. It really comes from the children because they learn that they can make a difference. And it's pretty powerful. It's pretty, like the emails I've already been getting and talking to Leo about, yeah, we're already raising money for people around the world, and it was only like September 19th, so it's pretty amazing. And it's child-driven. We really try to give them the power. Sometimes they're like, I don't know, and then we scaffold them. Well, what are some things you could do? Let's talk about it. So you'll be hearing a lot about action in the house.
So there are so many layers to what IB is. We could talk about attitudes and learner profile attributes and themes and knowledge and concepts, and I mean it literally goes on and on and on, all pieces that the teachers look at. But what we're really trying to focus on tonight is what's the point, what's the purpose, right? And so what is the point of becoming internationally minded? Well, we're hoping that our students become these global citizens who go out and make change in the world. That's what it means to be an IB school, and we see our kids doing it all the time, and I think we have to believe, right, that each person making changes makes a change in the world.